Nature Boy Ric Flair, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, gonna come for you. And if you thought for 1 minute, kid, that you dealt with risky business, now you're dealing with...
We are Wrestling with Weed, the podcast.
Woo! Welcome back to another episode of Wrestling with Weed. We just got done watching the 2024 Royal Rumble, and it was very disappointing to see Cody Rhodes win again.
It was Cody and CM Punk the last two. CM Punk, Cody Rhodes had a little tuffle. Could have been either or. You could have really seen it. You thought CM Punk maybe could win because he was talking about main eventing WrestleMania. But again, just like a repeat of last year, we see Cody Rhodes winning the Royal Rumble and pointing up to the stands to Roman Reigns, which as of right now, we can just conclude that Cody versus Roman again, rematch WrestleMania.
Well, I guess that's what we wanted last year too. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted Cody to win, so I was like, fuck it. You got to go through all this stuff for a whole year to come back, and I mean, I don't know. It's just because Punk was there, and it felt like Punk's momentum, even though he had that little ball spot that we spotted. We've been watching Punk religiously for these past 2 years since he came back, and not one time have we seen that ball spot. But for some reason, I don't know if
it's like a WWE trademark now.
You go back and you got to get that ball spot.
Triple H cut all his hair off so you wouldn't even have to see it. Shawn Michaels, that was a tragic story.
I forgot about my boy Michaels' hair.
The John Cena bald spot.
That's what he's got. I think it's because Punk, it looked like he dyed his hair, but maybe not. But it just, I don't know what's up with the cameras.
2-3 years in AEW, we've not seen one bald spot. And then all of a sudden.
So what are your feelings about Cody Rhodes winning again and going back to WrestleMania to face Roman Reigns?
Well, you don't believe it, but I feel like we don't have all the details. I feel like with The Rock doing his teasing and promoting, he's definitely going to be a part. It's just WrestleMania 40. It's the biggest WrestleMania show ever.
He was hyping it up on ESPN.
He didn't do that for the last one. You know, I feel like he's definitely going to be a part of it. And and the only part that he's talking about is Roman Reigns.
The reason why I think, like I told you earlier, of why he's promoting it heavily now is because I don't know if he bought in or whatever he did, but he's on the board now of TKO. So that means that he has to own at least a part of UFC and WWE, so maybe he's just doing this to promote his business now. You know,
it's not a good look though. Yeah, now I'm the owner, and now I'm going to put myself in the main event of WrestleMania. I think
it's not something that people don't want. I guess you could be like, all right, cool. People do want it to happen, so
this isn't new. I felt like there's that guy right there. Why is he in the press conference?
Why is he in the background?
Oh my God,
that's your boy. I'm gonna take a picture of it.
You could put up a picture, but if you're a wrestling fan and you're a WWE fan, green shirt fan guy, dead center, front row in all of the big pay-per-views. He was there today, and now we're watching the press conference.
He's in the background.
And he's just there, just in the background. How do these people...
How do they afford to go to all these shows and travel to every single... I want to know what they do for a living.
We see these fans all the time. I mean, they're great fans. They're at every show, but how we want to make this... How is it possible? Brock Lesnar guy.
You don't know that dude's name with the green shirt?
No, everyone just calls him Green Shirt Guy. I think you could find it if you look for it.
Yeah. Well, shout out Green Shirt Guy, because your ass be at all the shows... And let me know how you do it so I can be there with you. We can have some fun.
There's so many urban legends. Like the company, like he sues the company, and then that's part of his settlement. That he has to go to all the shows, or he knows Vince McMahon, or he's whatever.
Well, let's not get into Vince McMahon right now.
It's a great segue. We want to talk about that for a little bit.
Okay, so I guess... you let us know, because I don't really know too much about it. You read a lot about it, but...
Well, I read a little bit of it. There's a lot of details.
Tell us what Not the fucking.
Well, the girl's name, I think her last name is Grant or Gant or something like that.
Miss Grant, right?
And she worked with the WWE in the back offices, but how she necessarily got there was always clouded. We never know like what her relationship was, but now this big news scandal coming out that she was Vince McMahon's play toy, apparently. Of course, doing favors for him and getting the job itself. And then you see these text messages that were released, very dirty. And apparently he's pimping her out to, like, John Laurinaitis and Brock Lesnar. And
oh, God. John Laurinaitis got that stupid-ass voice. Oh, man.
And you see her respond. I seen her response.
She was
text.
getting down.
Yeah, she was like, you know what? I'm not feeling good right now, but give me a couple days and I'll be back to myself.
Yeah, what does that mean? She was getting banged by somebody else.
And then you see Vince using his little text language, lingo, and stuff like that. And
ooh, Vinnie Mac.
Talking about how he wants to do all these. He wants to watch her get, the ultimate cuck shit. Once eventually they can't use their dick no more, they just want to see the girl getting fucked.
That's some weirdo shit.
But eventually,
he is Trump's boy. Remember,
this isn't no big surprise when you think about elites in Hollywood and in the industry and people having to do favors and shit like that. But
you think McMahon's name was on that Epstein list?
I've never seen the full list, but I would not be surprised.
Me neither. But
I would not be surprised.
That would be crazy. How about back in the days when they had all them scandals with my boy, fucking the first ever Intercontinental Champion raping ring boys?
Pat Patterson.
Oh my God!
Yeah, you think about even just the back then, like on a much smaller scale, but those ring boys were doing it for a reason, right?
Yep.
They were promised things and they agreed to it. You just don't unless you real forcibly force them and hold them down. They bent over and took it.
They were willing, willing
and then everyone feels wrong after everything's done and they want to come release. That's the prerogative. But now Vince McMahon is getting sued, resigned from TKO and WWE fully from all positions or whatever he was doing. Still,
this is the first time ever in the past. I'll say 80 years.
Vince's dad's dad.
So that's 80 years. So say 80 years of professional wrestling, and this is the first night that there's not a McMahon in the wrestling business.
It's totally crazy, because growing up, you say what you will about Vince, you kind of looked at him with a lot of respect because you saw him build this organization, took it from his dad, build it from territory days to very non-promoted, very local, to building a nationwide, global entertainment company.
Wrestling wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him.
Yeah, we're here watching the Royal Rumble right now because
2024 on Peacock.
Because of what WWF was when we were kids, when Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior, he was building stars, in our eyes, and then when Hogan was too old and left, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, bringing in all these.
Let me tell you something. When they have Step Into a Slim Jim commercial. And they're still using Macho Man's Step Into a Slim Jim
footage from 94.
It's probably from 93, 92, whenever he left. Because I remember he got that deal when he left WWE, or he had got it when he was with WWF, but took it with him. Yeah, And it was like, damn, they're still using it. So you got to give.
And Slim Jim's not no small company either. But that's them showing you, that was our best, probably promoted or earning era that we want to still be known for.
Nowadays, maybe the younger audience don't really know about, Macho Man because they didn't get to see him or whatever. But if you ask anybody...
Bonesaw McGraw?
I say if you ask anybody from 27 years old to fucking whatever, 50, 60 years old, Step Into a Slim Jim, you know that's the Macho Man. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And... it was awesome to see him in that commercial. Awesome. You know what I'm saying?
I met Macho Man when I was a kid.
Ooh.
It was at little Aaronson's over there. This little promotion where he'd just come out signing autographs. And I remember this
thing. Was on Hard Times?
No. This was I was probably a little bit more between 5 and 7.
Oh, you're talking about the furniture store?
Yeah, Aaronson's.
Yeah, I remember you were telling me this. Yeah, tell him.
And then I just, it's one of those memories that stick with your mind. You don't remember everything in life, but you remember some few things. I remember meeting him, and I remember he was like, "So you doing good in school? Yeah, I want you to keep getting those good grades and keep listening to your parents." I just, cool shit like that, But
that's what's up.
got his little autograph.
Was he in WWE? WWF?
I think he was. Of course, he was. I don't think he was there. I can't remember if he was like with the company, but he was. It was just Macho Man. So who knows? But
Maybe in between shit, you know.
could have been in between. But anyway, yeah. So you see, we're still watching it nowadays because of what Vince did and this company he built, and he may be going down and it was nasty wormhole right now, but
Let me tell you something. Any billionaire, if you go back and try to go through his history, pretty sure there's a bunch of skeletons in the closets. And any person that makes money like that, not to say that like they're not good people, but 9 out of 10 times, most of the most
you have to be cutthroat. You have to be a dick
most of
or
the
an asshole
most
somewhere.
wealthiest people and families in this world or in the United States, anywhere, you did something dirty to get there.
Look at the presidents of the United States. Bill Clinton, Donald Trump. They all have their skeletons and shit.
Hey, shout out Donald Trump, baby, 2024. All right. Regardless of Trump's an asshole or he's whatever you want to call him, he doesn't try to hide it. Ooh, showing my boy DDP. He's out here asking questions for DDP yoga.
It makes me even more curious how that fucking guy in the green shirt got there.
I know. How did that green shirt guy get in there? Let me know. Shout you out, man. I'm gonna tag you in this video. Brock Lesnar dude's cool too. We met him at
There's a whole if you're a real wrestling fan,
he's like a little like to himself when we seen him. Cause remember he was just sitting in a chair, but he was cool, you know.
But he's cool with like Frank the Clown. He's like best friends with him, and say what you will about Frank the Clown, but he's into promotional, got a little following.
Hell yeah.
But there's a little if you're a hardcore, I don't want to say hardcore, but if you're like a big wrestling fan, you see these people in the crowd all the time at these shows.
Yeah.
And going around, we live in Chicago, we go to a lot of indie shows, and I think that's where Brock Lesnar guy lives.
Yep.
So we see him a lot at these shows. We see the old girl, the big blonde, Xena, I think her name is. The one we saw at
yeah. Shout out.
There's that other girl, Alicia, who cosplays there, and
Today, who she dressed up as? Don?
Dom, did you just
Yep.
fart? They'll try to pass it over like that's the question too.
I hope
Who
you
is it,
guys-
Dom? Oh shit!
I don't think you guys heard that one.
Oh man, you got it. I did, dude.
Hey,
All of a
it-
sudden, the chair was making some noise, bubbling.
If you heard it, then these microphones heard it.
So here we see Cody. Let's wrap. What do you think about our
I
final
don't know. He's
thoughts on Cody?
crying. This is the second year he's crying. I guess I wanted him to finish it last year, so I guess I can't be disappointed. But I kind of want a Punk because Punk came back and give Punk that Royal Rumble. But maybe
So-
they give it to him next year.
I keep saying The Rock is going to be part of the main event. You keep saying no.
I don't think so.
So-
How is he going to be a part of it? It's going to do a three-way?
That's my question. What do you think? You think it's just going to be straight up Cody versus Roman again? Rematch, straight rematch, one more time?
I think it would kind of be dope if it was a three-way with Roman, Rock, and Cody. Because I'm probably not going to be like, okay, we're not going to pin Roman. We're not going to pin Roman. We're going to pin The Rock. So Roman still hasn't been pinned. You know what I mean? And then he's going to get, but...
You say pinning The Rock like it's some second prize or something. That's a pretty good prize in itself, too, though.
Let me tell you something. The Rock's fucking almost 60 years old, all right? Of course, he's better get pinned right now.
Hey, 60 years old.
And they even say she got a black eye right there. Right?
60 years old probably still looks better than probably half of the WWE roster.
Shit. Hell yeah, that is right, though. Steroids will do it for you, you know what I'm saying?
You telling me it's not that C4 Ultimate Energy right now?
Get out of here. I'm surprised my boy shit's not in the back. What is that, Prime?
Okay,
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul, yeah,
Logan Paul.
tonight. What do you think?
Let me tell you about that match. I fuck with Logan Paul because he shows effort. Like, so many celebrities come in there and just do whatever, you know what I mean? Like, really don't train for it. But he really trains for it. Like, I catch once in a while on his Instagram or the Snapchat where he's, like, doing the training, whatever. We did a lot of training with Shawn Michaels. But the way he, like, plays with the U.S. belt, the way he has, like, he's like, oh, I'm going to pawn it, or, oh, I got this OnlyFans girls holding the belt. to me, it's kind of disrespectful to the belt itself. So he's a great performer, but I don't think no way should they ever put a belt on him. How are you gonna put? You can say that he's a better wrestler than Dominic, but character-wise and the total package, I think Dom's years ahead of him. He should be because he is an actual professional wrestler. I'd rather Dom have the U.S. title. Who would you rather have, Dom or Logan Paul?
Logan Paul serves a purpose, and his purpose is not to be the best wrestler. It's to get eyes on the product.
But him at the wrestling event is going to put eyes on the wrestling event. He doesn't need to have the belt.
I think he has. Yeah, I'm not saying that he's doing a lot for the title belt because what does he wrestle like once? Like every big pay-per-view, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble.
Working on that Roman Reigns contract, you know.
So I don't think you can't really say that it's helping the company, but the company's not stupid, and they obviously did it for a reason. I don't think they need to do anybody any favors. So, and then for all the points that you brought up about that he does put in effort, and like I was mentioning before, you got him who's doing all his podcasting, selling his own merch and companies or whatever, and how fluid and good he looks in the ring. And versus someone like Jade Cargill, who lives 24/7 in the training center, who still moves like a robot inside of the ring. She looks great and phenomenal, and she's got a presence about her, but she's still very robotic.
How long do you think she's been wrestling for?
She probably started like less than a year before she came out on AEW. Do you remember when she came out first on that match with Shaq and Cody Rhodes?
Yeah. That was stupid as hell. I just seen the highlights where he throws Shaq to the table. But
that was when she first came out, and that was in the pandemic era, I think.
You think so?
Yeah. I think they were in the Daily Center.
So she's been wrestling for like 3 years?
You figure at least 2 in AEW, right?
I say 2 years.
You figure at least 2 in AEW?
I see
and
2
then she's
altogether.
been here for like half a year now already.
So just say 2 years roughly. And she's still... I don't know. She looks like...
But then it's 2 years of straight... supposedly straight training. Like it's all she's doing, you know, like making little appearances at basketball games. But
some people you could train them all day. Just like I'm pretty sure they train Goldberg all day, but they only got a few moves in there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, Jay got moves. I'm not talking about her look or her moves.
It's not even about her heavy moves. It's the way she delivers it and the storytelling in the ring.
Looks stiff,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
it looks not comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like every time I would see her wrestle, it looks like she wants to be anywhere else but the ring.
Like she's counting steps in her head before every move. Like one, two,
I figure not even counting steps in her head, but it's like she's counting the minutes. Like, man, okay, I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna do whatever, and you know, I think she looks at it. We might be wrong because we don't know her at all, but from our assumptions, I look at it like. She's just there to get the check. That's it. She got no passion for the business. And maybe I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? We could always be wrong because we don't know. This is just our opinion.
I'm going to say one thing to stick up for us, too, because it sounds like we talk a lot of shit about people. But what's that old adage that says, like, if you do something for, like, so many years, you become an expert at it or something like that?
Yeah.
I've been watching wrestling since I was fucking 5. I'm fucking 36. 31 years of watching something devoutly, you know, multiple companies and promotions, indies, all that stuff. I think we could at least say that we have a little bit of knowledge on the product too.
Hell yeah.
I mean, just because we're not having any footprint in it doesn't mean that we can't have an opinion that's somewhat valid.
Yeah. He is right about that, you know.
So, I mean, it sounds like we're talking shit, but, I mean, we've seen a lot of people, a lot of greats. And when you compare to someone like the whole point is when you compare to someone like Logan Paul, who's what?
Say maybe a year? Maybe 2 years, because I think he was at before last WrestleMania.
But you consider all those breaks in between where he wasn't doing nothing about wrestling.
Say can't even say a solid year of wrestling, but just say that. Fucking a solid year.
And then it just comes good. And then, like you said, Dom Mysterio, someone who's been his whole life, his wrestling has been his blood. And he's getting a lot of heat now for being a fucking dick or a sissy, but it's not necessarily for his wrestling, you know?
Yeah, it's more... See, he's more of a... Okay, he could wrestle average, but his storytelling and his charisma and the way he could work the crowd works wonders. You've seen so many wrestlers that could barely wrestle, but can still hold their own. But the fact that they have the charisma and the storytelling ability and just the way to control the people, you're always going to be on top. Come on, you're going to tell me that The Rock was the best wrestler we ever seen? At best, he was mediocre. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, we're talking about it. Because you podcast here. Who was the best wrestler you've ever seen?
The best wrestler that I ever seen wrestle.
Wrestler, like in ring wrestler. No promos, no
just
merch selling, no wrestling.
Like without doing flips or like just with all of it.
You got to take everything in this, the whole span of the wrestling ever since like the 80s.
The best wrestler to me that I loved, like I didn't know what storytelling in the ring was when I was younger, but now that I look back and I see the way he wrestled, or I go back and watch a match from him back in the days and see the way he would work people's body parts and just overall be like a technical wrestler, was Bret the Hitman Hart. Because I used to, no lie, I would see the way he would wrestle in the ring, and then when I would play with my wrestlers, I was a shorty, I would do the same thing. Like I would be like, oh man, he's working his leg and the guy's leg hurts, or he's working his arm, he's working his shoulder. Like, actually telling a story. Not just doing a bunch of fucking wrestling moves just to get the pop from the crowd. But actually working your way through a match. And people hate Bret Hart. A lot of people hate him. Because they think he's an asshole. But he truly is, to me, what he said, best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Because all around, he's great. Even though... like some of his interviews and his promos were kind of like, he still did it to a way where it was, even if you bring somebody else to do that promo, they wouldn't have done it as good as him. Even though he fucked up, or like, if you ever see his promos, it's like sometimes it's kind of a little off. But he gets the message through, and all around, he's probably one of the best wrestlers. And it sucks that if he would have not got hurt and would have been in healthy shape and not had got the stroke too, whatever, he probably could have been it would have been a great fight to see him and Kurt Angle. That right there would be a dope ass match. You know what I'm saying? So you got to think about it. That span, it probably could have happened like in 2005. Because he came back.
Kurt Angle came out in 99?
Yeah, So maybe earlier.
Bret
maybe
was still in WCW right there. Yeah.
So maybe in 2003, if my boy Bill Goldberg didn't kick him in the side of the head.
Bill Goldberg? Let me tell you something about Bill Goldberg.
We with you, Bret Hart. Fuck Bill Goldberg.
Oh, dude. So, yeah, you made some good points, too, yeah, because there were some other people, I would say, flashier moves, maybe, like, could do, like, a little bit more high flying. But when you talk about the storytelling and the fighting from the ground up, it's always seemed like Bret Hart was always fighting giants. Yep. Whether it was Diesel, Psycho Sid, Yokozuna, it was just always like he was like the regular man who was gonna still fight off.
Even the way he threw punches and kicks,
it was unbelievable. He looked like he was in pain too. Like whenever they shoved him into the corner, boom, and he take that chest bump. Oh man, he fucking bounced off of that thing, and he would sit there and he would look like he was having the worst heart attack ever. Yeah.
So what do you think?
I would see that's what my point was. Like, I can tell you wrestlers that were flashier, that put it together a better match. I could say names like Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, AJ Styles, Shawn Michaels. But they all, like you said, it just kind of seems like sometimes it just moves just for the sake of moves.
Exactly.
You like, I could do this flip, so let's do this high spot right here.
Yeah, let's try to fit it in or whatever the hell, His matches never felt like they were just trying to fit shit in. It was a different time, because there's still wrestlers that do it now. They just don't do it as well as Bret Hart did.
And another thing about it, too, is you were the successor right after that Hogan era. Yeah. Hogan left, and there was a whole big-ass hole in the top of the roster. He filled it up, and he filled it for a good.
But not even that. Think about this, right? Okay, they say, oh man, when Bret Hart was champion, they didn't draw money, they didn't do this, they didn't do that.
When the whole company wasn't drawing money.
But it's not even that. It was that, okay, it's like you giving me a company that was on super hot fire. Okay, so 90, We're running out of steam. We need to rejuvenate the crowd. We need to rejuvenate our staff, whatever the hell, our athletes. Then you're gonna get hit with this drug trial. Then you got Hogan not knowing what to do, coming in and just stealing the spotlight from me to beat Yokozuna, and then not even get pinned. He just gave up the belt, I think, to Yokozuna because I don't remember him getting pinned. I think it was
King
like
of
a
the
three-way.
Ring.
He
It was
pinned
a
him,
King of the Ring. Yokozuna pinned
or was it a
him.
disqualification?
No, he pinned. He bonsaied him 1, 2. I remember it was a pinfall.
All right, so he pinned him. For what? What was the purpose of that? That was my
why
boy.
Brett hated Hogan though, because he personally felt that he wouldn't drop the belt to Brett. That he
He
wanted
didn't want to drop it to Brett,
so
and
he
then,
dropped it to Yoko.
Yeah.
And then
Brett took it from Yoko.
Yeah, that was
a pussy move, Hogan. Sorry about that. But
Brett
you a pussy
always
for that one.
felt like that was the one match that would have solidified him as the number one from like a like what's it say, passing the torch.
Yeah.
The main guy to the next generation.
And he
It
didn't
should
want
have
to.
been. It should have been at that King of the Ring. It should have been Hogan versus Brett, but you know.
Hogan's a pussy.
What's the phrase? That doesn't work for me, brother.
Don't work for me, brother. I can't lose. Think about this. Think about how much money Hogan would have made
Yeah,
even
just to be
more.
safe, I got a Hulk Hogan shirt on right now. So.
Yeah, we fuck with Hogan. But
I grew up on
you gotta
Hogan.
call a spade, though.
I'll be completely honest. I'll be the first one to say of his politics, his backstage, or whatever. He was looking out for number one only. But
I guess you can't
grew up
blame
on that
him. I guess you
motherfucker.
can't blame him for looking out for himself. But at the same time, it was like, bro, if you know that you're gonna leave and try to do movies or do whatever else, he was just trying to save his ass. So if he decided to come back to wrestling, he wouldn't have went out like a punk. Which I'm pretty sure that's not how they taught him. But that's just the way
He's
he
saying
took
if he
it.
would have lost to Brett, he would have looked like a punk.
Yeah, no, I'm saying if he would have lost to Brett and then left, he was gonna go out like a punk. You know what I'm saying?
You
Instead
gotta
of
go out
losing
on
to
your back.
Yokozuna.
That's the wrestler's adage. You know, if you're gonna go out, you gotta
Go
go
out
out
on your
passing the
back and
torch or
put
doing
over,
a favor for somebody.
But see, you got to think about it. I already know what he's thinking about. Back. Oh yeah, like I said, I already know what he's thinking about. He's thinking about himself, Hogan. You know what I'm saying? But I guess so. Who'd you pick for your best wrestler ever? I mean, it's kind of hard, but I from everything I said about the whole psychology of, I guess, their business, the wrestling business, it's Bret Hart.
I'm gonna have to go with Al Snow.
Shout out to fucking Donnie Brasco. He's like, I'm gonna get an Al Snow shirt.
Shout out to OVW.
Ooh, yo. One
And,
day we're gonna do a podcast from that place.
What's her name?
Hollywood.
Haley J.
Haley J. Hollywood. Haley J.
Yeah, you know you ain't doing that. Come on the podcast.
Hell yeah, we'll throw you on the podcast. We'll smoke a blunt.
Sell you some bud. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, let's see. Cody Rhodes going to WrestleMania. So what do you think? It's gonna be Seth Rollins and
Well, we got to figure out about Seth because I don't know. His knee's fucked up, but I don't know. Some time, a couple months.
I didn't
maybe
I didn't get to see on Raw, but he
you don't watch wrestling.
Yeah, right, man.
So yeah, who knows about Seth? He's up in the air. Cody won, and he pointed to Roman. Rock's teasing that he's going to be there. I always felt that personally. It still could happen because he did not win, so he's not going to go against for the title. Punk versus Austin. I'm telling you, I'm calling it. So hopefully that'll still happen. It's going to be a great show.
So what are they going to do with the world title?
That's what we have to wait for. We have to wait to see if Seth is going to be able to defend it or not. He didn't necessarily drop it, right?
No, I don't. He said he was going to announce his injury. Well, it didn't look like he dropped because he had the belt on him in the wherever the hell they were at that suites right now. But I guess we got to find out. Wait till Monday.
So if it's not, if he's going to try to make it to Mania and he is going to have a match and it's not Punk Austin, Punk Rollins, of course, that's probably the go-to one.
Yeah.
But it should be a good show, though. I feel like WrestleMania 40, the biggest show of them all every year anyway, and this is going to be the 40th year.
40 years of WrestleMania. That's crazy. Let's jump onto this. Rock. I don't know if he bought into the company or what's going on, but he's just sitting at the board now of the TKO.
If you didn't read that, I don't think he is. I think they just needed to face someone familiar, a star.
But if you're on the board of directors, you own a piece of the company. and he's on the board of directors. So that means he owns a piece of the company.
And you know he's on the board of directors.
Yeah, it says new board member. What do you mean? It says new board member rings the bell at the whatever the stock exchange.
Yeah, but there was like 20 people up on that stage.
Yeah, and they show a picture of The Rock. You know what I'm saying? Just Triple H already been there. No McMahon. So they probably already knew, hey, McMahon, The Rock's going to take his spot. He goes, you know what? It's all right. Let The Rock take it. And they gave him the rights to his name.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So you're going to tell me that he didn't buy into the company? Who the hell gets the rights to their name? Nobody.
The Rock.
I'm trying to name somebody else that got the rights to their name too. And I don't even know.
What?
Got the rights to their name after leaving WWE. Who? Everybody changed their name when they leave.
It's a different time, though. I think that was McMahon when they owned the company. It was a family-owned company.
I think it's even worse now. I think when you come in and you go and you sign your name in that contract, whatever persona you make belongs to the company.
That was WWF's stance. I feel like more now, like they have a chance of it. Depending, of course, it all depends on how big your star is.
Think about this.
They're not gonna give Grayson Waller his fucking trademark name. But they'll give I could see them giving Stone Cold the Stone Cold name.
I'm pretty sure
Undertaker the Undertaker name.
Well, they're all probably still on the contract with WWE somehow. You know what I mean?
So what does that mean though? What does that mean? Like you get everything? Like you know how like before like the Rock merchandise was sold, WWE gets their cut. But now does that mean because you own it, you get everything, or
what do you mean?
Like the fact that you own the name. Obviously,
your own name.
Obviously,
they're selling the merchandise. Let me tell you something. The Rock shirts don't sell. Have you ever heard about? Hey, The Rock's outselling this guy. Never in my life. There was never a shirt that I seen The Rock had on, and I'm like, bro, I need that shirt, bro.
Just bring it.
Maybe that one. Maybe that one.
Lay it, smack it down.
He don't even have that Brahma Bull no more on his shoulder. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's just
boots to asses.
Why did he have a Brahma Bull with the eye raised? That's the real question.
Before he raised, or maybe he always raised. Maybe in college he was raising his eyebrow.
Maybe yeah.
Never watched. What was that show?
The Young Rock.
Young Rock.
Ooh, shout out Young Rock. That show's great. So I guess it's still to be determined if The Rock owns part of WWE. So what about, because we haven't done a podcast in a while. It's been like almost a month.
That's your fault. Leo went MIA. They stole his car.
Let's see. Samoa Joe beating your boy MJF. That was long time overdue, bro. MJF he's a good heel, no belt.
I think the bigger subject, what we could talk about with this leading into it, Samoa Joe being the champion of AEW, where AEW is at this point. Because we talked about it, how right now they had all these people that were main features on this pay-per-view. CM Punk, Jade Cargill, Cody Rhodes. Am I missing somebody?
Shit.
But they were big featured stars on this pay-per-view. Cody Rhodes and CM Punk were the last two in the Royal Rumble.
Yo.
And at one point, they were both in AEW.
Yeah, big FU. I think that came to one of my things on the list right here is CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, AEW missed out on that feud. I'm not sure how long the time overlapped from Punk coming to AEW and Rhodes leaving. Maybe it was a couple of months. Maybe it was a year. I'm not sure. I think it was less than a year.
No, it wasn't a year. It was probably a couple months, if anything.
So that right off the back, I guess Cody Rhodes said in his interview with Stone Cold that he didn't want to be the gatekeeper and all the new guys coming in fighting me. But you're telling me that CM Punk coming into AEW and then him showing up at the United Center. Imagine if he was cut off by Cody Rhodes and Cody Rhodes comes out there and be like, yo, this is not WWE. This is not wherever else you used to be. This is my home. I built this. That would have been a great starting feud. But like I said, when this guy had the interview with Stone Cold, he didn't want to be that person. Which that's who you are. You just gotta play the role. You know what I'm saying? But imagine how dope that would have been. Everybody celebrating, everybody happy. And this guy cuts a heel promo on them. But that's what Cody didn't want to do. he didn't want to turn heel in AEW. You know what I mean? But imagine how much money that would have brought AEW if he came out and cut him off and was like, "Look, bro, this shit's dead," and then boom. You know what I'm saying? The whole crowd would be booing Cody. Imagine how much heat Cody would have got if he would have came out that night. You know what I'm saying? But
AEW comes to Chicago. Are we going?
hell yeah, you know that. We gotta go.
It is still?
Hell yeah. Why not?
Well, what if it's WWE or AEW?
It all depends if Punk's gonna show up because Punk's
In Chicago, he's not going to show up?
let me tell you something. Punk is missing like every other fucking Raw. You know what I'm saying?
He's got that Legends contract. Yeah,
he's on that Roman Reigns contract. But yeah, you know, if it's between
there goes your girl.
we love big old gotta go to sleep or something. But if it's between Punk and AEW, I'm gonna pick Punk. You know what I mean? It all depends on what the prices are looking at for the tickets. We'll go to both. You know,
because I'm on kind of a low right now. I used to be a big AEW supporter over WWF. They used to have, and there used to be good reasons why. There used to be great.
We went in a fucking snowstorm.
There used to be great wrestlers. You never know who was going to appear.
Andrade showed up
at one point, and they used to have great matches and Forbidden Doors, and it was very exciting.
It was an exciting time.
And then ever since that drama after that All Out, the brawl out backstage.
But even after that, it was still all right. He came back and he did his thing, and it felt like it was going to be back on track again. And then look at my boy. Where's he at now? New Japan, and he rips up the AEW contract. Your boy, fucking Luke Perry's son. I ain't even gonna say his name. You know, so I guess that just. Where they had a cage match tonight. FTR.
They had a whole show. Honestly, I haven't even watched the past couple ones because it's just there's nothing really drawing me to it right now.
The only thing that I'm enjoying out of the AEW that's happening right now is just to see, like I seen, I forgot that Chinese dude's name, but his haircut's always bogus, and he's like a hardcore wrestler. Edge fought him. Adam Copa fought him, and that was a pretty good match. You know, stiff match. It was all right. It's cool to see Edge wrestling these different wrestlers that you would never thought that he would be able to wrestle. And then Tony Storm's storyline, bro. I love Deonna Purrazzo. We were watching her in TNA, and the fact that she's here and how beautiful she is. Oh my god!
All right, so Deonna Purrazzo, you see her in TNA. Another girl we've seen TNA that appeared tonight, Jordana Grace.
Ooh, she showed up in the Rumble. She looked like this guy said. She said that she might have thought that she might have been too small for
in real life when we seen her.
Yeah, too small for WWE, but she was out there giving those girls hell.
She looked just fine.
Oh yeah,
smaller girls that live in actually.
Let me tell you something.
She looked like she belongs. You know?
Yup, she looked like she belongs. No doubt about it. Jordan Grace is WWE bound sooner or later, and it looks like they have a working relationship with WWE because it's the second year in a row that they got a TNA champion right there. You know,
TNA is working for WWE instead of a working relationship.
Yeah,
because WWE ain't sending nobody over there.
But they don't care. They want to expose their people out there. You know, come on. No one really knew who she was.
Tell me though, that TNA couldn't use a boost from one of their WWE stars showing up on their shows.
They did. Dolph Ziggler. My boy Nick, Dolph Ziggler joining.
Not Dolph Ziggler.
Nick who?
Nemeth.
Nick Nemeth joining TNA. What are your thoughts on that?
Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth, whatever you want to call him. He's a good hand. He's a very good in-ring performer. I feel like he got a lot of personality, but he's not. There's a reason that he only had that like one run as a world champion with the Money in the Bank cash in WWE.
Yeah, but you got to look at it like he was a little fish in a big pond, and now he's a big fish in a little pond.
I feel like he's a medium fish in a small pond.
Still bigger than the average fish in there.
Yeah, but. Is he pinning Samoa Joe? Is he pinning? It's that well. He's not in AEW. So who's
Yeah, I don't even know.
who is TNA the world champion?
Moose.
I believe in Joe Henry.
Ooh, maybe Joe Henry. No, that dude, the walking weapon.
I thought it was Moose. No, it is Moose.
No, Moose is the champ, but I'm just saying guys that he could fight.
Oh,
The walking weapon, that one stale world champion they had. Forgot what that dude's name was. You even don't even know who he is. When the first fucking Impact show we went to, we seen him there. It was some white boy. But I was like, this guy's weak. He sucks.
Diana Perrazzo's husband.
No, boyfriend.
Steve Macklin.
It's your husband?
They got married. Dude.
Get out of here,
they only been
bro.
together for like a year.
Donna Perazzo, why'd you do that for, man? No, I don't want to watch it. Nah, you know what? Nick Namath? What was his name again?
No disrespect.
I'm going to call him Nick. I'm going to call him Nick. All right, so Nick, a.k.a. Dolph Ziggler, against PCO. Ooh! Nick don't even want to get in that match. He's going to fuck him up. PCO's getting dropped on his head on center blocks. It's still moving.
It's funny because I see that they show that clip around
all the time
of him getting. That was a terrible scoop slam. His head hit the edge of that brick.
Who was that? Moose.
It was Moose.
Moose. I don't know what's wrong with Moose.
There was tacks on the fucking bricks.
And then in the back of his head got.
And the match. I think that match just started at that point too. He got in the ring and started doing flips.
Oh my god. PCO, shout out PCO. We need to get you on the show, bro. We're gonna give him a little interview. And be like, hey PCO, how them thumbtacks feel in the lightning? Like, you got a great entrance, man. Come on.
We should do that. I'll be PCO. What do you think of PCO? With some lightning in the back.
Yo, shit, like, ooh, boy. We got my boy Triple H out here. He's like, damn, are they gonna put me in the allegation next? Because you know Triple H was in there too. Come on, man. Oh, a lot of people are calling for him to get fired.
If he had any worries, they would not put the TK or whatever would not have him in the face.
Hell yeah, you know that. Hell yeah, he got Stephanie McMahon, and she probably kept him in line.
Stephanie's not even there no more.
No, but I'm saying like that's his wife.
Yeah.
So he's like, hey, my dad's crazy, so get your ass home. We got kids to raise. Let my dad do what he got to do over there. You know what I'm saying?
He's gonna send Uncle Pat to your house to go visit.
Damn. You know, we talking about the first ever Intercontinental champion, boy. That dude's crazy, bro. When I seen that shit about the ring boy scandal, oh my god! Like, how was he still have a job during the Attitude Era? That shit happened in the 80s.
Telling you, dude, the cancel culture and internet and records released and like it wasn't. We used to live in a different time. People could have whole different families, and like different wives and kids,
in another state,
and cars in the same state.
But let me tell you this: this whole thing that's going on with Vince McMahon, even though we condone no rape, no forcing yourself on no women, none of that stuff. To me, it gets down to Vince McMahon's a grown ass dude, and of course, dudes with money, they're crazy. You know that they're gonna. You have so much money, you know. You just get to a certain
power hungry.
Yeah, I guess you get like to this weird shit because you hear about this with a lot of celebrities. But to tell you this is that if that girl signed an NDA like they say she did, she knew what the business was. She knew what it was. So the fact that she's coming out now and trying to put him on blast, and I think it's all strategically happening for a certain reason. Maybe they wanted Vince McMahon to step down and he wouldn't. So they're like, you know what? We're going to set this up and whatever, and then put the allegation against. So now you got to step down because on your contract it says if any allegation showed up, you have to resign as whatever position you have in TKO. You never know what it could be. You know what I'm saying? But I don't read anywhere that says that he raped anybody. So everybody's saying that he's raping everybody. I'm pretty sure a billionaire doesn't have to rape nobody, you know?
I didn't hear that.
But a lot of people were like, oh, you know, it's a sex thing. Right away you think, oh, he's raping fucking girls.
It's the power dynamic. It's he's taking advantage of her because of his stature. And you know, like using his power to manipulate her and
Yeah, that's basically what it is. But let me see what else I got right here. Free Vince McMahon. Okay, how about is we? It's been a while since the Iron Claw came out, and yeah, so like, we haven't had a chance. We were supposed to do a podcast doing that, but we didn't get to do it. But now we're gonna talk about it. The Iron Claw. Let me tell you something. There's not that many wrestling movies that we can choose from to say like our top five or whatever. But my top three wrestling movies of all time: one, Beyond the Mat. Two,
is that a wrestling movie or is that a documentary?
it's still a wrestling movie. You know what I'm saying? It's a movie about wrestling, right? So it's a wrestling movie. Second is The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke. And then the third one is going to be The Iron Claw. You know,
No Holds Barred didn't make your list.
I was thinking about that too, but that was so
Ready to
cheesy.
Rumble didn't
Ready
make
to
your
Rumble
list.
is good too. But do top three. Top three best wrestling movies in your opinion. Iron Claw movie was awesome though. Awesome.
I would say number one is still The Wrestler for me because that it was
That'll be Ric Flair without the money.
more realistic. I not personally know, but you hear about how many stories of wrestlers that end up like that. You know, fame in the '80s. Look at Virgil. He's going out right now having meet and greets with no line.
Damn.
You know, it's so you see it and it's a story that isn't really told a lot because of it's wrestling is like really like looked down upon in society sometimes. So like you don't see it a lot, but I thought it was well acted. You worked did a hell of a good job. They show a lot of ROH is in there. R Truth is in there. They show a lot of behind the scenes of him getting ready, him trying to mix his real life with his wrestling life. Working over matches. Who else is in there? The Butcher. The what is this guy? The Necro Butcher.
Necro Butcher.
I think that's probably still number one for me.
That's my boy, Necro Butcher, man.
I think number two would be the Beyond the Mat one, only because it's more of a documentary than a movie. I feel like there was a couple of documentaries that came out at that time that like I think A&E did like a little.
Nothing like Beyond the Mat though. Come on now, be real.
It was, and then my third one would be Wrestling with Shadows, the Bret Hart documentary.
That's a documentary too.
That's still it's the same part though. The behind the scenes of that.
So you're telling me Iron Claw's not in your top three? You're crazy, bro.
I wasn't that. I mean, I liked it, but the holes in the story, the shitty casting for some of the wrestlers.
That is true. I guess certain stuff they didn't put in the movie, and then the casting was besides Zac Efron.
The 45-minute Dark Side of the Ring covered that story way better than the 2-hour or 3-hour movie or whatever it was.
Yeah, because the movie was mainly for entertainment. It wasn't mainly to tell a correct story. Because most of these movies they'd be like a based on a true story and not correct. But the Iron Claw was a great movie because I liked the movie, and a lot of people that I know like the movie, and a lot of them really don't know the history of the Von Erichs. And I like the movie more because I actually knew. And then you kind of figure out, oh, well, they didn't do this, they didn't do that. But the Von Erich movie was great. The only problem I had, I'm going to look past them casting some dude that's like 5'7", 5'8" to play Terry. When Terry was a beast. You know what I'm saying? 6.
I like, Hogan.
But let me tell you this. The way they picked the dude to play Ric Flair was a shame.
That was a big hindrance for me too. Like such an iconic character.
You can't. I'm pretty sure there's probably at least 10 guys in this world that look like Ric Flair. You know what I'm saying? Or similar. This guy didn't even look like Ric Flair. Nothing. And then got the whole promo down wrong.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, just follow the fucking the
You're telling me you can't go on YouTube? You know? Yeah, go on YouTube and study one of their promos. You know what I'm saying? It was like it felt like to me like he was doing a promo based off what somebody told him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, I'm not gonna show you, but I'm gonna tell you what he says just to try to get it rushed. But the movie was awesome. I give it 4 out of 5 stars. You know what I'm saying? What do you give it?
3.5.
3.5 stars, huh? So what are your thoughts on the winner of the women's Royal Rumble, Bailey, and my boy?
I don't know about the Bailey versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania match. I don't know how I feel about that one.
Thank God it's not Jay Cargill. I thought they were gonna give it to her. I was like, oh my god.
I honestly think that would have been a better match
Oh, you're
at
crazy.
WrestleMania.
Stiff robot Jay Cargill.
Hopefully, she still would have continued in training.
Oh yeah, she been training for 3. She been training for 3 years, and in 1 month she's gonna get all of a sudden the best.
You keep trying to light that filter, but like there's so many in there.
Hell yeah, I see it right here. You don't like Bailey? I like Bailey, man.
Bailey's cool, dude, but
remember we should come out with that stupid, that like I don't know, the alien dude. Yeah, and he used to go and she would wave. I was just like, what is this nonsense?
she's a cool wrestler. She's a great hand. I just Bailey versus Rhea Ripley does not scream to me WrestleMania.
But I bet you it'll be a good match though.
Hopefully,
He goes hopefully,
because that's apparently what it's going to be.
And then
And
Cody.
then you got my feelings already about Cody having this match. We've seen this match. I feel like we've seen this already. Last year's Royal Rumble, Cody won.
This is probably the way we felt when we kept seeing Roman Reigns show up.
You know?
Keep showing up at WrestleMania. What do you mean we're talking about Roman Reigns keep being WrestleMania fucking 7 years in a row and people are still bowing him?
We are Wrestling with Weed, the podcast.